And now bringing you that hard hitting fight analysis, submitting you into paralysis. Josh Thompson head kicking leg to dome, and Big John McCarthy saying let's get it on.
That's right, we are live. It's the Weighing In podcast with my man Josh the Punk Thompson sitting there ready to flap his lips. But I think I'm just going to start going and talking all the time because we don't want to hear him, because he keeps on putting out just bullshit and I can't take it anymore. He's tried to tell me that Canelo versus Crawford was going to do more than Tyson versus Paul, and he was proven wrong again. Go ahead, I just started it off.
It's so funny. You started it off as like, I'm just gonna talk and talk and talk, and I said, so nothing's gonna change then, right? It's just
Okay,
a rambling old man with Alzheimer's. I get it. Like, everyone's kind of used to it by now. So
no Alzheimer's yet, just dementia.
Wow.
Dude, did your voice go that high?
Yeah, it kind of did, yeah.
Wow, how the hell did you do that?
We should probably run some tests, John. At this day and age, basically at this age, we just got to start like checking and making sure everything's all right.
No, it's not.
John, like, are we going to jump right into the numbers? I mean,
I don't care. I was just screwing you because it's just another one that you were just like positive. I'm like, no fucking way.
No, but you literally were like, oh, it was all because of Mike Tyson. That
dude, hold on.
It was all because of Mike Tyson.
Don't go there, because if I bring up your text to me, it's right there what you put in.
John, you said it was all Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson. I said it was Jake Paul, and you said no. But then Jake Paul promotes the second biggest fight, basically.
That was on the same night.
No, John, it was not.
Yes. Okay, do yourself a favor. I want you to pick up your phone right now.
No, that's what we have Podcast Dave for.
Podcast Dave. Put up what was put out here on our news. I want to say it was on our news.
No. Was Katie Taylor? Don't even look at that.
It was Katie Taylor.
Was Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano? What was their Netflix?
Hold on. What date was this? Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 2.
No, that wasn't 2.
Excuse me. Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
One second before you guys
by itself.
Before you guys go any further, John, can you just turn down your input a little bit as you're screaming? It's like really rattling.
Absolutely.
Just turn down your. Yeah.
So it was not from part 2.
We'll gauge it.
It was their last fight. Did more numbers than this fight.
Their last fight wasn't on.
No, it was not. They were the main event on their last fight, John.
It wasn't on Netflix.
What was it on?
It was on a pay-per-view. Their Netflix fight did 74 million. That was their Netflix fight, which was the same night as Paul versus
So
Tyson.
More people tuned in for the Amanda Serrano fight. Okay, got it.
Well, okay. Do you guys want me to
tell me? Go
My
ahead.
whole point.
Go ahead, tell me.
It is the same night. That was the co-main of the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Everyone was tuning in for that fight with Tyson because it was Tyson. Go ahead and look. Here, hold on.
What was the
pull up your little thing here.
Are you sure? Are you sure the Amanda Serrano
I
thing
am
was
positive,
on Netflix?
dude. I am
It
positive.
was a pay-per-view by itself.
It's even on your thing. That's why I was like, dude, it's right in the stuff that you're sending me.
I don't know which one you guys are talking about, so I don't know.
John's talking about 2, and I'm talking about their last one. Is it 2? I'm talking about their last one, which is 3.
Here you go.
It says
Serrano and
Dave.
There you go.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
What's the date? I know it's hard.
I know I can't see it, John.
Yeah. It says November 15th of 2024. What was the date of Tyson versus Jake Paul? November 15th of 2024.
John, what was the podcast? I don't trust John. Okay, he still says that he doesn't dye his hair. We all know that's a lie. Okay, so go ahead. Tell me what the date was of Mike Tyson. November
15th of 2024.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the day. I can pull the date separately. Hold on, I'm pulling numbers right now. So.
I'm just sitting here because I know I'm right, so it's all right.
John's right once in a while.
Now it's once in a while.
November 15th was the date of the fight.
Thank you.
What's the next thing now?
So what was their third fight? What date was their third fight?
Who's third fight?
Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor.
Okay, hold on.
Dave's like, you sons of bitches.
I know. He's like, couldn't you ask me this
Damn it.
before?
He's like, I was just hoping you guys would just talk and I just leave me out of it.
Okay, the date of the third fight was July 11th, 2025.
Okay, so recent. What were the numbers on that?
So their third fight had 6 million global viewers.
Okay. Okay. So wait. So that's okay. So you're still saying it was because Mike Tyson?
Yes.
You're saying that 74 million people tuned in early to watch Mike Tyson, when no one ever shows up early to anything for boxing. But that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. An extra 30 million people tuned in an hour early.
An extra 30 million people.
Hour and a half early.
Hold on. An extra 30 million people did exactly what you're talking about, is that they waited all the way till the Paul versus Tyson fight before tuning in. But yes, 74 million were already there watching the fights, anticipating the Tyson versus Paul fight. Then it jumped from 74 million to 108 million.
Okay, so you're telling me, you're telling me that.
Why can't you just admit you're wrong?
I'm jumping on your wagon here.
Okay.
Saying, okay. Oh, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, it's fine that like the old guy gets one right. I get it. Okay, but let's go ahead and I want to touch base with you on this. 41 million people watch Bud Crawford and Canelo.
You're right.
Okay,
that's damn good.
No, it's absolutely, it's amazing. Okay, here's my thing is this: my argument to you is you're telling me that an hour and a half before Tyson and Jake fought, that 30 more million people tuned in to watch Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
What do people do? They get the time that something is going to be on. It's going to either have the prelims or the main card, and usually it's the main card. And when Netflix said it starts at, let's say, 8 p.m., everyone fucking turned on their TV sets and they watched.
Why didn't they do that for Canelo and Bud?
Because it wasn't the name of Tyson. I'm just being honest.
No, but I mean, it's even 40 million though. Like
40 million is a shit ton.
No, I get it. It's a shit ton, but I'm simply saying that there was literally an hour and a half between the co-main and the main on the Bud Crawford fight. And I would like to see the number. Yeah, they did that whole Tool fucking concert before the main event. They had that concert before. It was fucking retarded. Just the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. And then they had the mariachi band and then the Tool concert, and they had all this shit, right? It took them an hour and almost an hour and a half for the fighters after all their walks, and they got in there from the moment they finished the.
You're saying the Vargas versus.
From the time that ended to the time they actually touched gloves to box was almost an hour and a half.
Really? That long?
Yes. We wasted an hour and a half of our life fucking on live chat, talking to people. And I'm not saying we wasted it with our fans. We enjoyed we had some fun conversations during that time. But literally, I didn't even realize it was an hour and a half until I actually was talking.
I didn't either.
It was a full hour and like some change. Wow. Bottom line is an hour, John. An hour.
See, to me, that's what's wrong with boxing.
Well, absolutely. And that's one of the things Dana said he's going to try to fix was the pacing of the nights. Like, that's one thing we know is when a fight ends, they're showing us highlights for the next guy and we're ready, or next female, or whatever, next fight. And then we're on our way. It's like, okay, we go to the desk segment, highlights roll. We talk about it real quick, run it down to the desk or run it down to the cage. They talk real quick as the walkouts are happening. And then next, they're touching gloves and, doing the introductions by Buffer, and you're touching gloves and fighting.
Yeah.
It literally is like I remember us several times being rushed because of CBS Sports being like, hey, we got to be off air at this time, or we got to pay for another half hour or whatever the fuck it is, and them going, hey, if this fight wraps, we're going to go to the next fight, literally trying to cram these guys in the cage, doing the walkouts real quick, doing everything. But I guess that fight was sure on there was a co-main event. Okay. And on that card, that size of a jump or that many people tuning in for boxing ever.
It's crazy.
4 million seems insane to me.
But you can't sit there and tell me it's because of Jake Paul. I'm not saying Jake doesn't market well and has his followers and things like that. Mm-hmm. But the reasons the numbers were that big was because of Mike Tyson. People wanted to see Tyson fight again.
I have a hard time. I mean, I'm not saying that Tyson definitely wasn't,
especially when they were told it's free. So if you have Netflix, you can see it.
Yeah, because everybody in the 80s and the 90s, right? When he was on his terror going up, most of them couldn't afford it. If they didn't have a black box so they could get it for free to watch the pay-per-views back then,
Yeah.
everyone was cramming into people's houses trying to watch the
Hell
whole
yes.
47 seconds of his fight. Can you imagine paying $50? Like
Dude,
several of my uncles said,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not paying for it because it's over in a minute or two.
Dude, after I went and I paid for the Michael Spinks when Michael Spinks was going to fight, because Michael had beaten Larry Holmes twice, and he's going to fight Tyson. I said, I gotta buy it, So I mean, I think at the time it was like $59. It was like, damn, but I bought it. It was over in 90 seconds. It was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do?
But those are moments that we remember what made pay-per-view so fun. We're like, oh, I'm gonna pay for it. Yeah, but people kind of watched like the co-main even then. Back then, they'd watch whatever fight was on.
That's when
there.
you have all your buddies come over. It's all good.
Yep, and you were charging $5 at the door, huh?
No, just you better bring your own beer.
Yeah.
Bring me a beer. Bring a pizza. Bring something.
Yeah, bring something. Don't come empty-handed.
Yeah, don't come empty-handed.
Don't come empty-handed. Okay. What else you got for me there, Dave? Because there's no fights this weekend, so let's just go ahead and talk. Let's talk all the gossip, all the news, all the things going on. Let's talk it, and let's have some fun with this, man. I'm gonna just trash on John today, give him a hard time. I'm gonna just do this.
But you gotta be right. If you're gonna trash on me, you have to be right. Do not be the false side.
John,
that's the wrong side, dude.
So you're pushing it. You're almost 80 now. So like I know your nuts hang down to your knees. So I'm just gonna be doing this, making like this.
At least something's touching me.
At least I was wondering why you bought a farm all of a sudden.
There you go, baby.
Did you want to talk at all about the what we're going to start next month with the fan shows for members?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what we're going to be doing is if you guys apply for our $4.99 membership, if you guys apply for that, we're going to start pulling one fan a month, possibly even two, like as in doing two a month. We'll probably pull one fan a month, have you guys join us live on the air, and we'll just let you guys ask and bump things off of us, okay? Keep it respectful, obviously, and because we can kick you off at any moment. But I want to make sure that, look, we're trying to do this for our loyal fans. We have a lot of them that have been members with us for a long time now since we started the program, and we appreciate them. We appreciate you all. Like you have Alejandro Gutierrez, you got Lazy Bed, you got Amanda, you've got a lot of really good members that have been with us from the beginning. We love you guys. We want to show you guys the most respect, and this is an opportunity for you guys to actually jump on and ask questions like to John, like what about this fight and this ruling? How come it was like this? It's hard to get the dialogue going through chats and all that. So this is a moment for you guys. We'll probably throw you guys on, and just basically have a half a show or like say a 15 minutes where you guys come on. No different than like if we were to interview someone, say, hey, let's go ahead and do an interview for 10, 15 minutes. You guys jump on, ask us some questions. That only applies for our $4.99 membership. So please join our memberships on our YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys so much for doing that. The $1.99 membership is basically just an everyday membership. So when you guys on our Tuesday Night Lives like tonight, we make sure that we get to your guys' comments first, knowing that you guys are members. We want to try to get to them as fast as we possibly can.
But also there will be, just so I can clarify the structure, because I know that's not your area of expertise, but
it's not, definitely not. Structure is not my area of expertise.
So there'll be one show per month. We'll bring a member on at the $4.99 level, and then one show per month that we'll do a fan questions for members only live on YouTube and the other platforms as well. So it'll be one show where all members, including the lower tier members, can get in and get the questions answered for the whole time we're on live, and then one show where we bring a member on that higher tier, and they get to chop it up with you guys and ask the questions, get the insight, and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you guys that are in California, man, I know we have a lot of followers in California. That's literally less than a tank of gas or a gallon of gas in your state. So $4.99 is no problem. You guys go ahead and sign it up. Go $4.99 on our memberships. Appreciate you guys so much for continuing to support us.
Spinning Heel Hook asks, which is better, striking base for MMA, Muay Thai, or the whole thing just disappeared, or Dutch kickboxing? Thank you.
Ooh, I mean, this is a good one, John. Like, what's your take on it?
It's a variety. When you sit there and you talk about, I don't think that Muay Thai is the best style for MMA, even though most MMA fighters do Muay Thai. They practice Muay Thai type kicks, and the actual functions of Muay Thai, the techniques are great, but the way that a Muay Thai fighter establishes the fight, stands in one place, and is lifting a leg doesn't really work for MMA in that style. Dutch kickboxers seem to have a harder style, and it seems to work better for MMA, as if you're going to just move one style over. I would say it's the better style, but it's a combination of everything. And that's what, it's why it's called mixed martial arts. You can go back in time when it was called NHB in the beginning, no holds barred. And that was, we tried to get away from it. It was one of the things that Jeff Blatnick helped, I thought, in helping the sport grow, as he continually pushed the term of mixed martial arts, because it was a mixing of all the martial arts, all the techniques that could work at the time were what people were trying. And then people came along and started putting in techniques that in the beginning, in your training, you were told, never try that, never do that. That's stupid. That'll only get you in trouble. And then someone came along and started doing it. And then all of a sudden everyone switched over and they went to it. But, there's no one specific stand-up style. There's techniques in boxing that work in MMA. There's techniques in Muay Thai that work in MMA. There's techniques in a Dutch style kickboxer that work in MMA. But if you relegate yourself to just one of them, you're going to be missing out on things that your opponent might be bringing towards you in the cage. And so you just take the best of what there is and try to take it and meld it into your style in the cage. That's what, you don't have to be the best at anything. You just have to be, someone that is good with everything.
GSP proved that. You don't have to be the best boxer, kickboxer, or jiu-jitsu or wrestler. He was just better at certain parts of and was able to exploit the other people's games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go along with yours, because I'm a believer in what you're saying. I believe that you take the best parts of what works for you. Everyone's body is different, and so whatever I can do doesn't mean that Joe Blow down the road can do.
Right.
Okay, like there was things, obviously I'm not going to teach a heavyweight the same way that they teach me. Like my coach is not going to, Javier Mendez is not going to go, hey Kane, do this. Hey Josh, do this. It doesn't work that way.
No.
It even relates to the wrestling atmosphere. Is takedowns that DC uses are definitely not the takedowns that I use.
You can't use those.
There's some similar. No, I can't do his techniques because I need fat and weight to do it.
You need
and a lot of technique.
But there is strength involved with what he does, because he likes high crotching people and dumping them on their head.
Yeah,
and he's great at it.
He's phenomenal, man. Like I know I like to bust DC's balls, his Kung Fu Panda, and all the other things, but man, the guy is extremely athletic. When he exploded onto the scene in the Strike Force realm, how fast he was for looking the way he looked, like a little Teletubby kind of thing. But man, the guy had fast hands, and I've told this story before on this podcast. He's a fucking gamer.
Yeah,
that guy was a fucking gamer. Like think about him coming off, the wrestling mat and then coming in the gym and him fighting right away. I'm ready to fight. As soon as he got in shape, I'm ready to fight. This guy he had 5 or 6 fights in 1 year just because he was trying to get to Strike Force as fast as possible. He had fought, I think he won the King of the Cage title or the Cage Warrior title. He won some small title he won. And then that was up on the wall. And it was kind of like a joke. Like he's like, I'm going to get to the other one. And then he finally obviously did. Strike Force, tournament champion or whatever it was. And then also UFC champion. But I mean, yeah, he's just one of those guys that I think really blew up. But his style was that he learned and progressively got better and picked and chose what works for him. For me, John, I'm going to say this. I got to say I was the guy that did what you just said. No, don't do that shit. It's going to get you in trouble. But let's take a look at the guys that have done certain things. Lyoto Machida, MVP, Stephen Thompson. Like those, Alfie Davis, who just won the lightweight, tournament or whatever it is. Yeah. Those 4 guys, that karate / taekwondo style is a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
Fighters don't know how to deal with that. And if you can get as good as them, and that's a lifetime of work that they've put in, but you've got to get as good as that. And then you add the things, the wrestling takedown defense, a couple little submissions here and there, getting up off your back. but they have evolved the game. They've taken it to that level of, and I think that's why guys like Usman and Umar are so good, because they have that Taekwondo style kickboxing and boxing, but then they have the wrestling that goes along with it. And now with the grappling and the submissions, that style is dangerous, super difficult to deal with. So you say Dutch kickboxing, you say like Muay Thai, you pick and choose from those, right? What works well. And I think those are great things to add into your toolbox. But if I'm gonna have to lean one way, I'm gonna have to lean more towards the karate and Taekwondo style, only based on the fact that even to this day, fighters have not figured it out. How is a guy who's 38 years old, even Lyoto Machida when he was 40 still fighting, they're still having a hard time with that shit.
So, but you have to be honest and look at it. And I agree with you as far as those guys in particular that you're naming. They give people fucking headaches. But each one of them, when they started out, couldn't handle anybody in MMA once they got grabbed a hold of and put on the ground. And so they all said, I need to learn this. Mm-hmm. And Stephen Thompson learned how to wrestle. He used Chris Weidman, his brother-in-law, as a big, help in being able to become a defensive wrestler, a guy that was difficult to take down. Michael Venom Page, if you talk about a guy that's open to everything, wanting to learn, here's a guy that spent nothing but time on the mats, wanting to be good, both on top, on his back, being able to stop takedowns, all those things. Lyoto Machida becomes a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Even though he's not the greatest black belt, I've seen him compete in tournaments in BJJ. So, all these guys had to get another level of the grappling in their game to be efficient at what they do, because they couldn't just go out and be that karate guy or that Taekwondo specialist or the point fighter like a Venom Page or a Stephen Thompson, both point fighting and full contact. They had to learn the things that made up mixed martial arts. They had to learn the grappling. They had to learn the wrestling, because if they didn't, as good as they are on their feet, as soon as someone gets into them, and eventually someone does, then they're a sitting duck. But once they learned those things, now they became dangerous to everybody.
But that wasn't the question. The question was about the kickboxing, correct? Like which one?
Well, they named Dutch kickboxing and Muay Thai, so I used those two things.
Got it.
You expanded it, and rightfully so.
Okay, I thought they were just talking about which stand-up is the best, and I was like, right now in this day and age, even though elbows and knees are all very critical, okay, but like if I can't get a hold of you, fucking, it's got to be that Taekwondo stuff. But that's you've got to work extremely hard for years to get to that level to be able to do it in MMA.
Yeah,
we saw guys in the early years when they were like, oh, they were the grandmasters and all this other bullshit that came along with it. Then they got fucking taken down and destroyed.
Yes. That's like the whole point.
Yeah, but now like these guys have really evolved that karate style.
You can go back and then people aren't going to remember, but UFC 2 had a guy named Ray Wizard, who was from out in California. I knew him, and super fast, super good on all the tournament scenes with karate and all these different things. But he got beat by Pat Smith with a guillotine choke because he didn't know how to stop it.
Yeah.
And so you look and you go, okay, you've got to have more than just that one style. You can't be that one style pony and think you're going to win, especially in today's MMA. Yeah. Back in the early days, it's possible you could be a one style guy like a Hoist and you can win, but not in today's game.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's like you take the best jiu-jitsu guys and they still need to work on some sort of strike. Adolfo Vieira now, one of the probably best guys in terms of tournament style of jiu-jitsu. Still can't do it. Can't do it. So what else you got for us, Dave?
Tony asks, what do you think about Paul versus Davis? Paul's future ?
Paul, he's talking about Jake Paul and Tank Davis. That fight's, I saw something that was put up today. He weighed in his last fight. Jake Paul did at 199, like point something. And Gervonta Davis weighed in at 133 point something. Like, what are we doing? If you are Jake Paul, like, how do you condone? Like, how do you, he just doesn't care. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't give a shit. I'm going to fight this little guy. and after I beat him, I'm gonna tell everyone I'm the fucking greatest. Like how? And people are gonna buy this shit. They're
Yeah,
gonna
they are.
is this gonna be on Netflix?
That
I would
one,
imagine it is.
I don't know.
I mean, I would imagine it would be on Netflix. He just did Mike Tyson and him on Netflix. He just was. I think that's why he was posting. Hey, we did way more numbers than you guys did. Bud Crawford and Canelo. Canelo's supposed to be like the man of the sport of boxing. Has a whole country behind him in Mexico. Like, and people are going to be buzzing. He's going to be saying like, "Hey, Netflix, come back to daddy. Come back to daddy." Yep. So it's going to be on Netflix. Dave just said.
Yeah.
You know what, John, Dave, I'm gonna have to get used to this. Dave, pull it up. Like how everyone says Jamie, pull it up. I'm gonna say Dave, pull it up. And I like podcast Dave, but it's so much easier to say Dave, pull it up. Got it.
Don't need to change my IG handle again.
Yeah. I've been busting your IG. You got to change it again, Dave. It used to be Dave, pull it up.
Dave, pull it up.
It could be Dave, pull out, but you got so many damn kids. Dave,
yeah,
pull
that's
out.
not happening. That's not happening.
Oh shit. How do you feel about this fight? Outside of the fact that it's disgusting, go. How do you feel about it?
I think you just said it. To me, it's ridiculous.
How are they allowing this to happen? That's what I want to know.
Exhibition,
even an exhibition though, like
no
it's
exhibition.
robust.
Exhibition. They can basically say, okay, you want to do it? It's not a real fight. We're not gonna sanction it. We're not.
There's no winner at the end, correct? Then if
there's
it's
no winner at the end.
Got
there's
it.
no winner. There's no loser. But you look at it, and it's exactly what you said. It's a train wreck. And when I say it's a train wreck, it's not that Gervonta Davis is not a phenomenal fighter, but to sit there and to think that he's going to be able to, do well with Jake Paul. If Jake Paul had never fought, maybe, Gervonta Davis would win. But now at this point, he's just not big enough. And when I say not big enough, look, he's going to have to take serious shots to try to lay shots on Jake Paul. And I don't give a damn what he comes in weighing. He can't weigh too much because then he won't have any gas. So let's say he comes in weighing 145. At 145 pounds, he's going to have a hard time making Jake Paul respect his power. Jake Paul's been in with heavyweights. He's been in with bigger guys.
Oh no, he's going to come in 160.
Okay.
I think he walks around. I think he walks around about 160.
Okay. So if he walks around at 160, still, it's not. He's not going to be able to generate,
no,
that same power, having the effect that it has on smaller boxers, and have it have that same effect. So now that you are in a position where it's going to be hard to gain the respect of your opponent, the whole game is going to change. And I, like I said, I know Tank Davis is a phenomenal boxer, but there's a reason for weight classes.
I agree. I mean, the only way I see Tank winning this fight is literally like putting him to the bottom.
He's not winning.
Again,
it's an exhibition.
What I'm saying is if he ends up touching him to the body and hits him, once that liver gets hit, he's got to get there. And how high does Jake? Jake's going to cheat a little bit probably. He's going to make sure he's going to wear the belt up a little bit higher, make sure that the liver's in the elbow, all that stuff. Tony, thanks for the question, man. Next one there. I see that Zeke662 threw something out there. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the tips. I appreciate you guys. Dave, go ahead.
Yep. Zeke662. How did the fighting nerds recover after being exposed by putting pressure on them and keeping backpedaling?
This is a great question, John. Zeke,
I didn't hear it.
Great question.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Are you being serious?
I'm serious.
Oh, Zeke662 asks, how did the fighting nerds recover after being exposed by putting pressure on them and keeping backpedaling? That's verbatim.
No, he's saying that they were exposed by people putting them on their back foot, and then they're not the same fighter when people put them on their back foot.
Many. How many?
But what he's saying is, how do they recover from this?
It's like anything. There comes a point where you have to. There's always that person that's going to create problems. Take a look at Crawford versus Canelo. All right. As simple as it gets. Everyone talks about how great Canelo is, and he is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's not. He's a fantastic fighter. He's now 63-3-2. All right. Crazy. He is unbelievably good. But as good as he is, I want you to go. I think it was the 11th round. There was a moment in the 11th round where Canelo was trying to come on. He was trying, and he got hit with a body shot, a left to the body, and then a right to the head. And he stepped back, kind of turned away in frustration. Just did this walk like, son of a bitch. I can't freaking get to this guy, and he's tagging me. And that right there, that's a guy that has won 63 professional fights against some of the very best boxers there are out there. And he had that moment right there, that one right there. Yeah.
And then he got into that exchange, and on the way he tried to back out, he got clipped again.
Yeah. And so, this happens to a guy that's fought everyone. And so you're going to have these moments that's why we say styles make fights. That's why you and I both picked Terrence Crawford to win this fight. And I had a lot of boxing people telling me Canelo's too big, too strong, hits too hard. He's going to walk through him and he's just going to break Bud down. And I'm like, I don't think he's going to get to him. And it was just that, it's a difference of opinion. But Terrence Crawford knew exactly what he wanted to do going into this fight. Canelo knew exactly what he wanted to do. One of them was able to take that plan and effectively use it in the fight, while another one said, shit, I got to try to go to plan B. Oh, I really don't have a plan B. I don't know what to do to stop this. And I don't know how to engage with this guy. And now I'm in trouble. So now when you sit there and if you are Canelo, you go, I want another shot at him. But I can't go in with the same game plan and the same style that I went in with, or I will end up losing the fight again. I have got to learn how to deal with what Bud Crawford just put in front of me, and I've got to learn how to effectively counter it, how to effectively make him have to adjust to what I'm doing. And if you can't do that, then you'll never win that fight. But every fighter's in that position at some point where they've got to go, I've got to change. I got to change what I'm doing with this guy because he's different than everybody else that I fought. And almost everyone, not everyone, look, but even guys, they're, are undefeated. Look at Khabib, 29-0. If I showed you Khabib's first fight in the UFC and you look at his stand-up, and I showed you his last fight in the UFC and you looked at his stand-up, this is the progression of a champion fighter getting better with every fight and effectively changing his way of fighting to make it more effective from fight to fight, even though he's winning. And every fighter should be doing the same.
Yeah, that was a great question, Zeke662. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. I would have to ditto everything that John just said. It just comes down to Canelo didn't have the answers for the speed and the movement. And it wasn't, when I say movement, it wasn't like he was
little tiny things.
That's what people don't get when they're watching world-class boxing, and you're seeing the best two guys in boxing, I think, right now. And if you don't believe that, think about this. There's video footage of Usyk going, hey, people are calling you the best boxer. He's like, no, not me. Terrence Crawford. People, Floyd Mayweather saying Terrence Crawford's the best boxer in boxing right now. Like there's fight Bivol, Terrence Crawford, best boxer. I fought Canelo. It's like, I can't fight, Crawford. He's too small. He's like, but he's the best boxer. This is before the fight happened.
Yeah.
They're all talking about how I've gone there. I've trained with him. I worked out with him. Guys have said that he's come in for camps to train, like literally like when no one knew who he was. And he showed up, like he flew in, showed up at 9 a.m, didn't even go to his hotel and check in, went straight to the gym, wrapped up, jumped in the ring, like warmed up a little bit, came solo too. How rare is that?
No, he's a different duck, man.
Yeah, he comes solo, doesn't come with an entourage, didn't come with video cameras, just came in, jumped rope, wrapped his hands. Okay, let's go ahead and give you some work. He's like, shit. He's like, that first day, I guess, I can't remember the guy he came in to get some work with, but he's like, look, he put it on me a little bit. He's like, but I got it back, as the fight, as we got our rounds in. He's like, the next day came in, different fighter, made the adjustments, came in. He's like, Terrence Crawford, best boxer. right now. Best boxer in the game.
No doubt.
I'm trying to remember who it was that had him come in for sparring. I can't remember, but I know it was a big name, obviously. They were only interviewing big name guys. So, but he just straight up, everyone was saying this guy's the best boxer. Andre Ward did this great clip. Do you have that clip? I put it on our news channel. We got to talk about this. He got the shaft, man. He got the shaft. No one wanted to give him respect. No one cared.
Oh, Terrence Crawford?
Yeah.
Oh,
nobody cared.
Absolutely.
They put him on the back burner. And they basically just told him, nah, they don't like the way he talks. They don't like the way he interviews. He's slow. He doesn't talk.
Yeah, they say he's boring.
Yeah, they say he's boring.
Yeah,
but even his personality, like he doesn't do interviews where he engages. I'm sorry, but I listen to a lot.
He doesn't talk bad about his opponents.
Yeah, but John, I watched the interviews beforehand. I watched the interviews after. This is what we want our kids to replicate. How am I not on this guy's side?
Yep.
And I'm not taking anything away from Canelo. Guy's a fucking legend. This guy's one of the greatest boxers to ever step foot inside the ring and to do what he's done by going up in all these weights. Fantastic. Okay. But Bud did something that it's insane what he did. And he made it look easy. That's what's crazy. Let's listen to the Andre Ward talk.
Tried to bury Terrence Crawford. They tried to ruin his reputation and say that he wasn't a draw when the numbers were there for you to see. When he went to MSG against guys that didn't have big names or that were faded, like Amir Khan, or when he fought Kaviaskis, he did numbers. There was a smear campaign about his personality. He doesn't talk. Nobody wants to hear him. No, that you don't want to hear. So you try to speak for the masses when the whole time you have a star right here. You got to learn how to talk to this man. Even as recent as his last fight, the fight before Canelo, the smear campaign continued. I don't hear the smear campaign now. Them voices got really, really quiet like they typically do when they get proven wrong. And they either try to jump on the wagon, I knew this kid was going to be that, or they get very, very quiet and they start to retreat back to wherever they came from and they don't have a lot to say. So I'm happy for this brother for that reason, because they tried to bury him, Roy. It didn't work. He overcame that. He said, give me my shot. I'm going to show you. And he kept doing it time and time again. And he did it again against Canelo Alvarez Saturday night.
Andre Ward could be talking about himself right there, too.
You know what's funny? I'm glad you said that, because when I was listening, I'm like, I feel like you're talking. I feel like you're getting that energy out because this shit happened to you.
It absolutely happened to him.
Exactly what went through my mind.
Yep. Andre Ward, I mean, he did not get the respect. You know, being from where you were at, where I was at, we all knew, dude, this guy's fucking good. This guy's phenomenal. And he hadn't lost since he was in the amateurs. You know, went and won a gold medal, comes into pros, and he's just smacking people. And they kept ripping, oh yeah, he doesn't fight anyone good. He doesn't do this, he doesn't that. And then if you remember it was the Super Six. That's when he finally got the respect that he deserved, was when he was in the Super Six. And that 168
first guy he beat out of Denmark. I forgot.
Mikkel Kessler.
Yes, I was sitting there second row with Luke Rockhold and Scott Coker. Yeah. We were sitting there at the Oakland Coliseum.
Yep,
we're in that.
Remember that fight well.
We were there sitting second row. Absolutely fantastic. He put on a clinic. It was a great fight, but he put on a clinic. Yep, great fight. I mean, I can't say enough about Andre Ward. Fantastic fighter. I wish he would have fought more, but they found a way to bury him. They found a way to fucking not make him the face of boxing. Yeah. And unfortunately for him, you know, he was able to make money other ways. You know, but he kind of got
stuck in that
contract bullshit.
Goose and Tudor contract.
Oh, yeah.
It was, you just look and you go, all the things that can happen. And this is why people talk about all these things in boxing. You go, it's a nasty business with, you know, people that end up, you know, guys like Andre Ward that are the ones putting in the blood and sweat and tears into it. And you get, you know, certain people on the outside going and fucking just creating problems and making their careers miserable.
Well, John, we know in this sport, not everyone is a fan of Dana White.
No,
but what people don't get is these boxing promoters have fucked up more boxers' careers than Dana White has ever fucked up in 30 something years of MMA. Dana just wants you to fucking fight. He's at a level now where he's like, I don't give a shit. Just fight. Just shut your mouths and fight. The guys,
Dana made it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The guys that their careers got messed up was they went off and tried to do something. Like that whole thing with Randy. I'm glad that they all got it worked out and he came back and whatever it was. But Randy tried to leave and go fight. Who was really at fault for that?
Well, here's my thing with if you're going to look at Dana has made mistakes.
I like how you good little change of direction there.
Well, I mean,
I didn't mean to throw you on the spot. I didn't mean to.
No. He's made mistakes, and you're going to. That is part of growing as an individual, getting better at the job that you do. You know, when Dana was first with the UFC, you know, when they made him president, he made a ton of mistakes, but he was trying. And the one thing I say all the time is, look, the one thing that I remember is Dana working his ass off. It's not like he was, I'm just, going to sit here and I get to do interviews. No, this dude was going to fucking Blockbuster Video, if people remember that, and putting the UFC's fucking tapes in the front row so people could see stuff. He was flying everywhere. And when he was flying, he wasn't flying private. He was on Southwest because he was on some of the same flights that I was on. All right. So he made mistakes, and that's part of it. The whole thing that happened with Randy was, look, Randy wanted to fight Fedor. That was his big thing, and then he was looking at the pay of what they were offering because they were trying to get Fedor. And he's looking at the pay of what, they're offering him and what they're giving, Brock Lesnar at the time. And he goes, what the fuck? I mean, we're talking a huge difference in pay. And that's when he did try to do the walkaway. He tried to get out of his contract. They'd always had problems with Randy. Randy didn't want to give away his ancillary rights.
Yeah.
At the time, at the beginning of when Zuffa first started, and he was not going to give away his name, his likeness, and all this stuff, and that stuck in Dana's craw. He didn't like that. You were making it hard for him. You were creating problems. Why are you creating problems? This is all good for all of us. We're going to put you on video games and all this stuff. And Randy's going, I don't care about being in a video game. I care about keeping my rights. So, that was personalities and stuff. And then when Randy came back to fight, Brock, he got, let's say 6 times the money, 7 times the money, 8 times the money to go back and fight him and stuff. And that's really what it was about, and so it's called prize fighting. All right. And everything is about, how much can I get for my efforts? And, Randy always felt like the UFC was trying to put him down. The UFC always felt like Randy was a pain in their ass and not easy to work with. Who's right? You got to look and say, well, the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
No, I agree. I think the truth does lie somewhere in the middle. The thing, I'm not just using Randy as an example. There's several fighters, that were in that position but my overall comparison was boxing and Dana White. Boxing promoters, I know there's more of them than there's only one Dana White, but the thing is, he's fucked over way less people and having the biggest promotion.
I agree with you.
And these guys have burned and it just tore up these guys' careers. You get one opportunity to be as successful as you possibly can and make as much money as you possibly can. Randy, I would say, and him and Dana, they have their problems, but Randy also did it to himself. These boxers are like, hey, I still want to fight, and these guys can hold you hostage. And that's kind of exactly what happened with Andre Ward, as I recall, in having conversations with people that were close to him. He literally was like, no, I just don't want to fucking do business with you anymore. I'm done with you. Right. And it got to that level of and it's like, no, fine. We're just going to basically hold you hostage. We're going to hold you hostage until you're ready to fight. And if not, then whatever.
Then don't fight.
That's really what it came down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Andre's obviously in the position now where he's doing a lot of the boxing commentary because he's extremely well spoken and knows the game, obviously. Knows the game really well. But like I've said, though, boxing, it's funny because the media has a tendency to bag on Dana for these type of situations. But let's remember that all the actors put in in motion for a reason, because these fucking boxing promoters are scumbags. And even going further, you know how many times that they have literally like signed fighters and then held them captive to fight their lesser fight or fight their top level guys to use them as stepping stools. So
Always.
nobody else can sign them, but I'll sign them. And then I'll have you fight my number one guy or my number two guy. So then you get beat, and then I build my guys on your on your back. Like, that's the scumbag of it all. Like, in the league with UFC, you sign fighters and look, this is how we match you guys up. Sometimes it's a favorable matchup. Sometimes it's an equal matchup. Sometimes it's not favorable at all, but you got to find ways to win. It doesn't change the fact that you still need to win the fights if you want to be successful. Winning solves everything. You, like with Randy, you said, you know, he felt like he saw what Brock was getting paid, what Fedor getting paid, and he wanted to get paid that. Well, come back to the UFC, beat Brock Lesnar, and, you know, and we'll go from there, and we'll talk about you getting paid. You know, it worked out for several people that left and came back. BJ left and came back. Randy left and came back. Anthony Johnson left and came back. And I know what AJ's contract was when he left. I know what BJ's contract was when he left. And when
I know what it was when he came back too.
It was 5 times. I know what it was when they came back. Yeah. It was fucking 4 or 5 times more than what they were offering him when he left. So when they left, went and did good things and came back, the UFC will always want you back. If you win outside,
if you're winning
for yourself and you're doing things for yourself, they're going to want you back. Because the name now, when you go out and you're just fucking knocking dudes out in World Series of Fighting, or you go off like BJ did and start your own promotion and just bring in all the top level guys you can and beat them. Okay, what else do I have to do? Just pay the guy. You built the whole promotion off your back. You brought in Henzo and Rodrigo and Gomi, and you beat all of them. So now what do I got to do? I'm stuck. Fuck, this guy's doing it on his own. He's doing it on his own.
And he's successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how that all would have worked out had he just kept Rumble on the Rock and not sold it to Elite XC and just tried to do it all on his own. But like, hey, let me go to Showtime. Hey, let me go to HBO, take my Rumble on the Rock there. Because remember, Anderson Silva, Jake Shields, Nico Vitale. Who else was in that tournament? Frank Trigg. They had
Carlos Condit.
They had Murderers Row in that tournament. That was a tournament that Rumble on the Rock put together. Yep. Insane. So, yeah, there's a lot, like you said. Dana's made a lot of mistakes. He's learned from a lot of his mistakes.
Sure.
I know that people are like, well, Dana's going to fuck up boxing. He's going to do this and do that. And Eddie Hearn, can you play that video as well? This guy talking about, it's nothing new. Go ahead.
I'm not going to play the video on this because there's like tons to go through on it. Before we move on to this, so I just want to get Eddie Alvarez's question answered from Instagram. Eddie, the one and only Eddie Alvarez, asks,
the Underground King.
Who wins, Boots or Crawford?
Ooh. I mean, I got to stick with Crawford, man. I got to stick with Crawford. The reason why I got to stick with him is that he's just, he find like just the stories I've heard and just like the one I just said, he came in and sparred one day and the next day he came in a totally different fighter. He figured out just in that process of what he had to do. You know, that's why I feel like when you watch the Canelo fight, he was real hesitant in those early rounds. Then as things got going and Canelo wanted to stand and trade more, he's like, I'll go ahead and stand and trade. I realized as long as I have better defense than you and I'm faster than you and I can touch you and get in and get out, I got nothing to fear. He had already figured it out. He'd already figured out Canelo by round 4 or 5. And then he saw Canelo try to change it by being the weight bully. And he's like, that ain't going to work. I've dealt with guys that are faster than you and trying to bully me around. This ain't going to work. And he made it look easy. Shoulder shrug, touch. It was beautifully done. Beautifully done. I just don't know if there's a better boxer out there, right? I don't think there is.
There's not.
And you're hearing that from all of his, I don't want to say teammates, but from everyone in his industry.
As simple as it gets, you know, and it's a good question. I 100% with you. I think Crawford actually walks through him. I look at it and it's the matter of, if you take a look at Crawford's face after that fight, there ain't a mark on it.
No,
because Canelo didn't touch him very much. He couldn't. He tried, dude. He tried everything, you know. And this is where a lot of people are like, Canelo didn't fight smart. It's like Canelo was doing everything he fucking could think of. He had no answers to the riddle. He tried to go to the body, and every time he tried to go to the body, he got blasted with a counter that fucking just made him go off angle. And now you can take a look at some of the pictures. It almost looks like they're superimposed two different pictures. No, that's Crawford offsetting Canelo, making him change to where he is now in a position he can't even see Crawford. You know, his body position is completely off. Something you don't see happen to good fighters. And I totally agree. Look, at Crawford is the best fighter. I've been saying it for a long time now. He's the best goddamn boxer out there. You know, he's got for a guy who's not big, he's got pretty good power. He's got a lot of knockouts, and his boxing ability is just a step above everyone else. When he sticks it into a different gear, he becomes almost goddamn three-dimensional he looks like the Matrix. He just is unhittable at times, and you go, how come they can't hit him? It's like they're trying.
Yeah. It comes down to when you say he's not hittable, he's swinging, he's missing, and he's slightly touching a little bit, but not enough to do anything to knock him off balance. I was extremely impressed with everything he did. Zeke662, that was a fantastic question. Yeah, man. What else we got? Oh, sorry. No, we got
Zeke Eddie Alvarez.
Oh, Eddie's. That was Eddie's.
All
right. We got, what's the next one? Sorry.
Well, do you want to stay in boxing right now?
Question, buddy, Eddie. Thanks for the question, bud.
I kind of want to stick on boxing since we're here, and I can get to the next super chat once we're done with this. So there's been a little bit of like what seems like a rift between Dana White and Eddie Hearn this past week with the fight and everything. So there's a few elements to it, and like I don't know if reading quotations necessarily do it justice. I'll kind of read the main parts anyway, and then we can kind of break it down. So Dana White was talking about being the biggest promoter in boxing, right? Eddie Hearn in an interview says, the one thing I would really like at this point in my career is to go head to head with Dana White and take him on. I want to compete against Dana. I want to prove that I'm much better than him as a boxing promoter. So I'm excited to come into the space. I'm excited for him to come into the space. Sorry, I knew I read that wrong. That doesn't mean we're going to fall out. And then they both have said that they have like massive respect for each other. Dana says, my guy Eddie Hearn, who I love and respect him, and I saw him today. He's out there talking smack. He's like, Dana's wrong. He can't do this. Eddie Hearn says, Dana White says, I've been involved with 2 of the 3 biggest fights in boxing history. Beg for that one, guys. Talking about Canelo Crawford and then Mayweather McGregor is 2 of the biggest in boxing history. Eddie, hold on, I've got to jump over here. So Eddie just kind of reaffirms on Aerial Show that their relationship is good. Nothing but respect for him, blah, blah, blah. Is that you can't expect me, a guy who's extremely competitive, to not want to roll up my sleeves and see who's the best in boxing, because I believe I'm the best in boxing. We're the only global promotion company in the world, and I believe I'm a head and shoulders above everybody as a promoter. Call it delusion, call it arrogance, or call it the truth, but that's truly what I believe. I'm excited to cross swords with Dana. There will never be any disrespect. You're never going to see me slagging him off or talking down about him. I'm excited for the challenge. I don't expect Dana and TKO to come into boxing and just sit in the corner and deliver some decent numbers for shareholders. I think they're going to want to have a presence and try and dominate the sport. It's good for me in many ways. If he really has ambitions to try and dominate the sport, it's going to be me and him duking it out. I don't think that's bad for boxing. Honestly, he probably believes he can dominate boxing, dominate me, dominate everything. And I feel the same. So you've got 2 guys with a lot of ambition, with deep pockets and big egos, and a pleasant way let a battle commence.
Go ahead.
He made comments about So he made comments about the Dana saying he's involved in 2 of the biggest fights, 2 of the 3 biggest fights. One of them is Mayweather McGregor. That's not one of the biggest fights in boxing history. That's an exhibition fight as far as I'm concerned. And Canelo Crawford isn't even his fight. It's Turkey Alashki's fight. He got invited to be a promoter. That's kind of the gist of everything, right? Dana's comments about being involved in the biggest fight. They're willing to fight it out, but saying they're going to stay friends. Eddie also made comments with Ariel about there being a rift between Dana and Turkey because Turkey's like over the top on your ass all the time. And so he's like, there's already a rift there. See how long it lasts, type thing.
Ooh.
I know it's a lot. Digest it how you guys want. Let's get your reaction to it.
I look, Coker had the same belief, I think, with Dana. Look, let them do their thing. I'm going to do my thing. Like whatever. I'm not trying to interfere. In this situation, they're kind of trying to compete with each other, which is great. But Coker had the same thing with Dana. Like, I'm going to do my promotion over here. And however we put our fights on is how we put our fights on. And Dana's going to be over there putting his fights on. And however he puts his fights on is how they put their fights on. In this situation, I think Eddie Hearn is like directly trying to compete with him. Is going to make it vocal. But the good thing is they have a good relationship. I think this is what boxing needs. You need two promoters that are going to kind of like battle a little bit back and forth. And I think the sport of MMA has taken a step back only because there's no other promotions to compete with the UFC anymore. Whereas now you have Eddie Hearn who can compete with Dana, and Dana can compete with Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn's got the history of promoting fights. And Dana's got the history of promoting fights in MMA, but not in boxing. So can he take the throne from Eddie, I guess is kind of to say. Can they battle back and forth? I don't know how that would work. When he says go head to head, does that mean we're gonna have pay-per-views on the same night? Because that's shooting each other in the foot.
Hell no, he's not. He's not.
Very
Eddie Hearn is not a stupid man.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's be honest. Let's take a look at Eddie Hearn first. Okay. Eddie Hearn's dad was a promoter. Okay. That's how he came up in the promotion. Matchroom was it wasn't just boxing. Eddie is the one that kind of brought it into the boxing world, but his dad used to do darts, used to do all these different, UK things. And Eddie,
what does that even mean?
Well, UK likes darts, they like cribbage, they like cricket.
What is cribbage?
Thank you very much. Okay. So that's my point. This is what the stuff that he would, become a promoter for. Yeah. Where Eddie, Eddie's really started a little bit, maybe before, I can't remember the guy's name. There was a boxer that he decided to try to help, but his big first name was Anthony Joshua. He signed Anthony out of the Olympics, and he's been with Anthony Joshua, or Anthony Joshua has been with him ever since. He's made, some smart deals and fights for Anthony. He's made some bad ones. It's part of promotion. You can't win them all. You can't protect a guy forever. All right. And there was things that were being seen, with Joshua that people were looking at going, I think that's a way to exploit him. And it ended up being true. But he also put together some huge fights. You take a look at the Joshua versus Klitschko fight that happened at Wembley. There was 90-some thousand people in the seats. That's a great promoter. That's a guy who's doing his job. That's a guy who's putting money in the fighters' pockets, and he's putting money in his own. That's what he's supposed to do. So Eddie Hearn is a quality promoter. And when I say quality, I've never heard any boxers really get into ripping Eddie Hearn as far as Eddie Hearn did me wrong. I've heard that from fighters about all kinds of different people, and I can start
Bob Arum, De La Hoya.
There you go. Okay, so
Ryan Garcia right now is publicly fucking just being like De La Hoya's. Fucking.
Yeah. So Don King was the reason for the Muhammad Ali Act. So there's all these promoters that have had relationships where they screwed over fighters, and the fighters are pissed off at them.
Who was the guy that was the promoter for Elite XE? Shaw?
Gary Shaw.
Gary Shaw.
Yeah. So came from boxing too. But Dana is a guy, does he screw over fighters? Some people will say yes, based upon, well, he cut this guy. I'm sorry. That's what happens when you're thinking. Does he always pay the people what they're supposed to be paid? We've talked about this. Yes. Right. Does he sometimes overpay them and give them, backroom checks and stuff? Yes. So
I can tell you what he's not doing. He's not charging you fucking $98,000 for towels.
Hello. Thank you very much.
King and Mike Tyson. He's not doing that.
So, is he perfect? No, you're never going to make everyone happy. Dana is the greatest promoter of fights that there's ever been. You got to be honest. No one has put on more fights in the fashion that he does week to week and have it maintain a specific level. There's no one else. Okay. Eddie Hearn is close when it comes to boxing. He does a great job, but I mean, doesn't put on half of the fights or half of the cards that Dana does throughout the year. And so going into this whole thing, I do think they have respect for that. I think Eddie does respect him. I look at it, and this is no different. When you're a fighter, you know what? You have egos and you say, hey, we're going to compete, because you are competing against another fighter. Promoters don't compete against each other. Okay. Doesn't happen. I used to tell referees all the time. People would sit there and say, I said, do you compete against Herb Dean? What the fuck are you talking about? Herb's a referee. The only person that Herb Dean is competing against is himself. The only person that I am competing against is myself. And that is, I want to be as perfect in that fight as I can be. And when I'm not, what are the things that I did wrong, and what are the things that I can make better? And Herb's doing the same thing. And I would tell referees all the time, you're never in competition with me. You're in competition with yourself. And so I think Eddie Hearn's in competition with himself. I think Dana's in competition with himself. And that will lead to who people believe is the best promoter for the sport of boxing.
I know that I'm excited for how Dana gets into the boxing world. And I know there's this talk about like, oh, he's offered this pay scale for these fighters, and it's like a Dana White Contender Series style fight. And Eddie Hearn goes, look, this has already been done. It's nothing.
Doesn't work.
New. It doesn't work. And no, it doesn't work because you guys didn't do it. But if you go back, you watch what Sergio Mora was from there. What was the other guy?
The Contenders?
Yeah, from the Contenders. Like, it can be done. And if you want to pay these guys, $25, $50, $75, $100,000 and to be on this Contenders thing, and you got to get good fights. And I don't know if you recall that first Contenders with Sergio Mora and who was either Gomez, I think? Gomez. Yeah. Like those guys, they end up having really good careers.
Yep.
And they were fucking fun to watch fight. That show was absolutely amazing. But boxers and promoters and all that got involved and fucked it all up. And that's really what happened. It's like you could have continued to build stars, but then people got greedy and they wanted these guys to start. I want to get paid a little bit more. I want to do this. And they went off and had great careers, but they didn't want their younger guys going in there if they didn't have more control. TV networks don't want to deal with that shit. You either want to be part of it or you don't. We run the show. That's how this works. You guys run the actual boxing and the fights and all that stuff. We've been in many of conversations with, I've been in many of conversations. I know you have too, but with where Showtime was involved or CBS was involved, and just the conversations about it all, right? Like they want to run the show. It's their network. They want to do it this way. Yep. And in this situation, I think Dana has a good idea and how to handle it. He has a wonderful idea of how to handle it. This is just going to be different. And for all those hardcore boxing fans, it's going to be hard to let go of what was. Okay. But the thing is it's not working. We're seeing boxing fall apart. We've been talking about it for over 15 years, John, maybe even longer. Okay. But it's been falling apart forever. Yeah. It's not going to hurt to try something new. Let's just see. It ain't your fucking money that people are spending to try and do it. So I don't understand what all these people are complaining about. The media, some fans, whatever it is. What are you guys complaining about? You're not putting your money in to it's all the shit's going to fucking Netflix.
It's as simple as it gets, Josh. I've always said it. I truly believe it. For the most part, people fear change. It's the unknown, and they fear it. And it's like, why? Why are you so against change when it could be the greatest thing that ever happens? Could it fail? It could fail, but it could also succeed and be absolutely the best for the sport. So why are you going to sit here and try to crush it down based upon your fear of it changing? Change is sometimes what is needed, and we'll see if it works out. Let's see exactly if that business plan works out for Zuffa Boxing, and Dana's right.
Just remember this, myself included. I took less money when I probably shouldn't have for the greater good of the sport. I was told we're blowing up. Things are getting up. We're on the right path. Yeah. I took less money because I wanted to see this sport grow. Maybe it was ill-advised. Maybe I should have fired my manager, but I love Bob Cook. He's my boy, right? But let's be honest, these boxers, if you want the lower guys to start getting the recognition and making enough to survive and not just getting punch drunk fighting fucking for $600 a round, this needs to happen. Something along these lines needs to happen. Change needs to happen for the sport of boxing. So all these guys that have all this talent can have an opportunity to support their families. They may never become world champion. They may never become one of the greats. But guess what? They might be able to make enough to buy a couple houses and cash out and be able to get rents paid and house their family and do whatever it is to put their kids through school. That's good enough. That's their dream. They want to live this dream. Give those fighters an opportunity to live those dreams. All this media going, oh, Dana's going to fuck it up. The All the Act needs to stay in place. All of these things, it's not working. It's not. Oh, they make so much money. Yeah, the 0.0000001%.
Yeah, exactly. That's not boxers. That's boxer.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, oh, look at how much Canelo made, 150 million. Look at Bud. I guess they just announced Bud made 50 million.
Great.
That's absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
But that's not the rest of the there's not 15 other fights on the prelims that made, 24,000 or 50,000 or 80,000. None of those guys made that. There was maybe one, maybe two other fights on there that made, say, 25, 50, 40. But the undercard of the undercard didn't make that shit. And there wasn't 14. I don't think there was 14 fights on this card. I don't think.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like, I didn't see what was before the whole card the main card started. So, but that's, I guess, these younger boxers that are coming up, they're going to have to go through what we went through, what the Rannigan Tours, the Frank Shamrocks, and Dan Hendersons and everyone went through. We went through all this shit. We bit the bullet so we could have this sport and we could cherish this sport for the long haul. Boxing, if you got boxers, if they want this sport to grow and they want to have an opportunity to be, they want to have the opportunity to make a living, to support their family, maybe buy a house or two and collect rents for the rest of their life and live off of that, then they're going to have to deal with the changes. Boxing fans are going to have to realize that. Media is going to have to realize that. There's obviously it could totally not work, John. Yeah. It could totally fucking shit the bed. Who knows? But if it does work, I mean, can you imagine like if they do a Pete, what's the performance, the PI for boxers, in LA or wherever, everyone is boxing. Most people are in California, get a couple people in the New York area, but most of them are in the California area. Like you put something like that in LA or San Diego or, whatever it is, like you're going to have all these boxers now having a place to go get breakfast, go get dinner or lunch or whatever it is. Like you're going to have opportunities for them to go train.
You get no dinner, get some dinner at the PI.
Get some whatever. So get some therapy though. Get some therapy on on their body. Awesome. Get taken care of. Whatever it is. Get different looks from other trainers that are possibly available there. Looking just for a little love. Showing that hey, I can attach myself to a fighter. You're helping the market grow, and the UFC's done a good job in doing that. So we beat that shit to death. Mm-hmm. Dave's over here. I think he's frozen again.
Dave is frozen. It looks like he's asleep. It's okay.
You got another one for us?
Am I frozen, really?
Yeah, you are. Yep.
Yeah.
I see Biscuit Farm has a question.
I'm just gonna switch over to this camera.
Gotcha.
Well, first we gotta go through this.
Okay. Oh, yes. All right. So hey guys, we have joined with a company called We Want Picks. Check out the link down below in the descriptions. Also use our promo code and guess what? Like this is one of those things. Look, it is not a sports book. But what it does do is it gives you access to people that actually put together bets, parlays, all different types of picks. Use the algorithm, not algorithm.
No, there's an algorithm towards what
there is an algorithm actually.
Fighters do as far as punches thrown per round, all the different types of things as far as their strike efficiency for the rounds. All these things that if you're going to be that person that wants to either impress your friends or actually go out and put money down on a fight, these are the numbers and these are the things that can make the difference in you picking the right person in that fight. This is all knowledge, it's all information, and it's sometimes just good for you to just impress your friends with what you know about specific fighters and as they're going up against each other, what they should be looking for. This is the kind of stuff that is not easily put together, but this company does it in a way that makes it simple for you to understand exactly the difference between two fighters.
Yeah, it gives you access to information, which I know for some people can be dangerous. So
Very.
in this situation, go to wewantpicks.com/offer. Okay, use that link down below in the descriptions, or you can, and when you get in there, you can use the promo code and still. But look, when you guys hit that link down below, okay, or use the promo code, it goes become a premium member. Just click on that, it'll take you through. You fill it out, and you have access. I believe it's only $10 a month. You get access to all the information. You can put together all your own bets. Okay, whether you want to go, strikes per round, whether you want to go takedowns per fight, whatever it is, it gives you the information to take the analyst to the next level. So you can also, there's also other people that are on there that are constantly making bets. You can take a look at what they chose and why. There's videos on there and tutorials on there on how they made their bets. But yeah, take a look there. wewantpicks.com/offer. And also you can use
And still.
hand still for the promo code.
Biscuit Farm asks, do you guys watch MMA Joey? He's got good takes.
I don't know. I don't watch
No,
MMA Joey.
I have no idea who MMA Joey is. I apologize.
He's pretty good.
Is he?
Yeah. Zeke662 asks, glad Luke Rockhold is retiring. Do you think Frankie Edgar is doing the right thing fighting in BKFC? And we lost a great boxer. Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton.
Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton.
Okay, so I'll take this.
Go ahead.
Yes, I do think it's a great thing for Luke Rockhold to be retired. I think this was kind of a last hurrah. This was an opportunity for him. If he would have beat Darren Till, there was a potential chance for him to fight Jake Paul. And I think somebody else as well. There was another fighter that they were talking to about him potentially boxing again against someone else. But he had to have beat Darren Till. Didn't come out that way. And I think it's a good time for him to step away. He's able to, I know he's connected with a couple different model agencies right now. And they're looking to use him more often now that he's completely out of the fight game, that he's retired. Now he can go ahead and start being utilized a little bit more in terms of for modeling gigs. He's got to take care of himself. Gonna have to maybe touch up that hairline a little bit. Okay, but he's gonna have to do something like to keep himself busy and active. He's got a good lifestyle. The guy's done really well for himself. He knows how to make money. He's single, not married, doesn't have kids, not that we know of. And he's doing what he wants to do in life. He enjoys
his money is his money.
His money is his money.
Damn.
He skateboards, he surfs,
idea what that's like.
he's out there wave surfing. He does all this different types of stuff, man. He stays active. He trains jiu-jitsu still a little bit. He hits mitts a lot. Like, he's still a very active guy. For someone who's single, some people can just get caught up just kind of like living the party life. Don't get me wrong. He's active. He's out there hanging out, having cocktails, doing his thing, but he's also up in the morning doing his run, getting his workout in. I mean, for someone who's 40-something years old, he fucking still looks pretty damn good. I'm going to toot his horn a little bit, man. The guy's a hard worker. He's always been a hard worker. And he understands, how his bread is buttered. He knows that he needs to stay in shape and look the part for him to keep working and getting jobs. So I think this is a good opportunity for him to step away. Great job by him on his career. Great career. In terms of the Frankie Edgar situation, I was out there recently in June during that 4th of July week and then the end of June. And I had a good conversation with him. Him and I both have that want to scratch the itch in bare knuckle fighting. And, and he's connected more so with those guys and had the conversation with them more. And he had said, like, I want to kind of just try it one time. So I don't know if he'll fight more than this. If he gets the win, he may fight again. But I don't know. But I do know that there was one of those things like, let me just try it. We want to just try it. And so for him, he got the deal, he got the call, he got the deal done, and he's fighting. Do I like it?
Do you think he's at a disadvantage that, in fact, that Jimmy Rivera has been doing it for a while now?
I think most of his career, people looked at him as being at a disadvantage. And he's proved a lot of people wrong. A lot of them. And so I think this is nothing new to him. Like, he looks at Jimmy Rivera and he's like, he's very beatable. I can beat him, and it's boxing only. He's not worried about knees coming up the middle. He's not worrying about head kicks. He's not worrying about wrestling or takedowns. The one thing he's got is he's probably still faster than Jimmy Rivera. He doesn't have the power of Jimmy Rivera, but he definitely has the output. That's what he's always had. He's been able to hit you with great combinations. He's been able to get in and get out. I like his chances of winning this fight. I don't know how much his chin has been affected after some of the last knockouts. You know what I mean? Like, that's the question, and we're gonna find out. He's gonna get cut up. He's been beat up before, but we know there's no quitting him. Just a matter of whether he can continue to take it. I think if he loses, he'll be done, completely done. He's got a gym. He takes care of his gym. You know, family's fully involved. His son's trained there. His daughter trains there. Like his daughter was showing my daughter some jujitsu when I was teaching there at his gym, you know, and my son was grappling with some of his students. You know, it was a great time, man. We had a blast having Frankie there and have Chris Ligori there and just other guys that I've trained with before. It was great. He knows that no matter what, he's gonna go home, you know, and his family's still gonna love him, and he's still gonna own
That's
a
it.
gym. He's still gonna keep working hard. He teaches classes, and everyone loves him. I walked in, I was like, "Damn, you've only had this gym for 6 months? Fucking place was packed, John. Place was packed." I said, "You've only been here for 6 months. You fucking almost outgrew it already. Like it's time to move on." He's like, "I can't, man. I'm trying to wait for the guy next door to go out of business so I can take that over." So that's smart. So, but what's your take on that situation?
I think, you know, the whole thing with Luke is everyone's time comes.
Yeah.
And Luke's time has come, and he had a phenomenal career. People can sit there and say what you want. He reached the pinnacle. He was the UFC champion. He was the Strikeforce champion. He did some incredible things in the sport of MMA. You know, after, you know, he was done there and going into the boxing stuff, it didn't work out for him. But, you know, it was always that Luke was the well-rounded fighter. He wasn't fantastic in the stand-up. He had some good things. He had one of the best damn question mark kicks you'll ever damn see.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it was his whole game that made him, you know, as good as he was in MMA. So, you know, like you said, he's going to do very well in whatever he does. He's a smart guy, and he's absolutely made enough money to make himself comfortable for the rest of his life. The thing with Frankie is, goddamn fighters always have one more itch. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
You know, but I understand it. And if you got that one itch, then sometimes you got to scratch it. I just hope that he comes out and he goes, "Yep, I did it. I'm done."
Yeah, I think most people, it doesn't matter whether it's a relationship, whether it's like not finishing school, it doesn't matter what it is. You want closure.
Yeah.
Like you want the closure, I think I'm more on your terms. It's hard to walk away off of a loss. I get it. But that's how most of us walk away. You know, but the bottom line is you want to have that closure. You want to be able to say, like, I did it on my terms. Most of us don't know that it's our last fight when we fight our last fight.
No.
We just think, oh, we got one more. Let's just see how this one goes. When you get an opportunity to walk in, like Dustin Poirier did it right, man. He walked in, he knew, like, this is it. I'm done. He's driving his wife crazy at home right now, I bet. But you know, she's posted a couple times about, hey, UFC, give him a call. He needs out of the house. This loosey goosey stuff is funny. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that he's getting an opportunity to scratch his itch. You know, we'll see what he does after this. What else you got?
Alejandro Gutierrez, do the fighting nerds need to reach out to the Gracie family to fix some holes? Silva versus Ortega, Josh versus Nate, WH,
White
the
House.
White House with Big John as a ref. Let's F and go.
Somehow I don't think any of those are going to happen, but that's okay.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That whole White House card is like, you look at it and you go, hey, it's cool, great, you know, awesome. I don't think I'd want to go. I really don't. You know, I understand why people do, but I don't, you know, it's definitely not going to have a big crowd.
Mhm.
You know, they're not going to allow that. It's not that it wouldn't draw it. It's just that they're not going to allow a big crowd.
I disagree. They're going to have a
Right.
huge crowd. Huge.
On TV.
No, yes and no. What they did was Dana came out and said already that he goes, we'll have 5,000 inside the grounds. He's but then right outside the gate there's a big, huge grassy area out there in the front, like in a big, they're going to bring out basically a huge stage, the
monitors.
amphitheater and monitors, and they're saying up to 90,000 people there. So yeah, they're basically going to build, it's going to be, yes, go ahead, Dave.
I was just gonna say, and free on CBS.
And free on CBS, yeah.
That's where I'll be watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's sure the fuck ain't going to DC.
Oh God, no.
No, but that was what Dana had said. Like he's looking at, because it's going to be International Fight Week. It won't be on 4th of July. It'll be the weekend before, I think, is what they're talking about. Yeah, in late June. And so they are looking to have International Fight Week. That whole week will just be events and like what was it called? People that come out, the sponsors and stuff coming out selling their vendors. Have your vendors out there and just have a huge event basically right out there. So it's gonna be a whole week. It sounds like a whole week, or at least 3 or 4 days, you know, before the event.
Don't forget his question was, do the fighting nerds need to reach out to Gracie family to fix holes in their game first, based on Silva versus Ortega?
I think please tell me, Alejandro Gutierrez, that's a fucking joke. Please tell me.
Next question, or
Yeah, next question.
Okay, he then goes on to ask, the pace of TV boxing events needs to change. It is too long. I know 10 to 12 rounds per fight. What can be done to speed up the events like the UFC does?
Just like what we were talking about at the beginning, when you have some of these delays between the fights that they're showing footage of training or the person at home or any of that stuff, but it goes on too long, and if there's one thing that the UFC did a great job of buttoning up, was their whole production was very tight in the fact that even when fights went short, they would, because people need to understand there's a production sheet, and it is all filled out, and the UFC had problems with this in the beginning. Dana had a problem with this at UFC 33. That's why when people are fighting and the TV goes off, it's because you didn't look at the production sheet, didn't have the times on it. So everyone's production sheet now has the entire event down to the minute of what it will take to do it. Now that adjusts based upon when a fight ends early, you can adjust it, or sometimes it's heavy the wrong way and you've got to try to shorten things up. But those sheets and getting people walking from their locker rooms at the right time and all these things, that's what makes a show move. And the UFC has perfected that time, that they don't spend a lot of time in between the fights. They'll spend some, and when there's a short fight, they'll spend a little bit more, and they'll do the talking head things a little bit, but they're very tight on getting the fighters out of the octagon and then into the octagon pretty quickly and fluidly, to the point where you don't lose interest as the fan.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of movement, in terms of the boxing, like that's always been the criticism. But for some reason, boxing fans just seem to be okay with it,
Yeah.
and this is a big reason why they probably just tune in for the main event. They just turn it on, like you said earlier, John. They turn it on. They don't pay attention. They drink, they barbecue, eat tacos. They do that shit, right? And then fucking next thing you know, the main event's on. Okay, everyone sit down.
Yep. So
Everyone standing
time to
room,
watch.
yeah, time to watch. Get the Coronas out, the Modelos. Let's go. Right? That's really what it comes down to. Like they're used to that, but that's where I feel like Dana White's going to come in and make some changes. Look, we're going to have 4 or 5 good fights, hopefully just 4, because boxing's it's just the pacing in terms of the fight itself. It's also, that's why when we did our live this last weekend, I asked you, can we change the rules in terms of the time and less rounds? I'd rather have a 4-minute round than a 3-minute round. I'd rather have, instead of doing 12, having 8 or whatever, 9, whatever the fuck. Okay, but like less of them, so we get through the action a little bit more. Like you get more action in 4 minutes, and then you also get less rounds, which it kind of, I think, would equal itself out. I'm just throwing out hypothetical numbers, whatever it is, and I'm just throwing it out there. But either that, or you shorten the rounds, or you shorten the time in the rounds. It's 2 minutes, so you get a little bit more action, hopefully, and you just leave it 12 rounds. I don't have the answer, but I'm simply put, like I feel like something's got to change with the time of the boxing. If you don't change that, for sure, the pacing. Like I said, when it took them an hour something to get into the fucking main event and touch gloves and start fighting, that's ridiculous. Can you imagine in a UFC fight if it was
an hour
an
and a half
hour
of time between it? No.
Let's just say an hour, John. Let's just call it even an hour. If from the time the co-main ended and then the main event, we waited an hour. How many people do you think turned it off?
A lot.
Yeah, how many people do you think would turn it off? Like if it was MMA, they'd be like, "Ah, fuck, I'll watch the show next week. I'll watch the other fights from next week." They'll just turn it off. UFC fans are not used to that. They're not used to that type of pacing. It just would kill the sport. They would have never have had a sport like this had they had that pacing.
Yeah.
That's probably why this is one of the big reasons why boxing's suffering. What else, Dave?
I want to wrap us up on these 3 funny videos here. So,
okay,
First one.
before we wrap up on this, did you see my text earlier, John? I want to talk about this real quick. Give me your top 5 fights for the White House card. I sent a text to you. I guess you didn't see it.
I didn't see
What
it.
are your, if you had it, because Dana keeps talking about this is the greatest fight. I'm going to put the best fights, whatever it is I can do on it. What are your 5 fights you're going to put on there? Let me give you my 5, and then you can go. I'll give you a second to kind of, because you'll probably agree with me on these. And I know I'm flooding it right now. Like I'm saying, if you're saying you're going to put the best fight on for the White House,
Okay.
I'm gonna just as right now, because she's the only American champion, is I'm going Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes as the main event,
Boom.
which is not fair, which is fair to me. But I know some people will be like, well, you're fucking retarded, dude, because these guys are bigger names, this and that. Okay. But in reality, I would go Kayla Harrison, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Okay. And the UFC champ, multiple time PFL champ. Like I'm going Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes as the main event.
Okay.
Then I'm going Conor McGregor and whoever. I would say it'd probably end up being Chandler since they already spent all this money.
Oh God, no.
John, I'm just bear
Go
with
ahead.
me, buddy.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. But it's probably going to be Chandler if they fight. Just that's where I'm at on that. John Jones and Tom Aspinall. That being the middle fight. That being like not being above Conor because he's not a bigger name than Conor. And then I'd put Islam and Ilya Taporia. And then my last fight would be, I want to give the little guy some loves. I'd get Pantoja versus Horiguchi.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's my card. If you gave me full reign to say, hey, what fight would you put at the White House? It would be that card.
Problem is you can't, I'm just going to be honest. I would love to see Kayla and Amanda on it. I think it's great. I can't make it the main event. Not if I have John Jones versus Aspinall, which would be a fight that I would have put on there also. Even though I know Dana doesn't want to put John Jones on that White House card for for specific reasons. I look, and if I'm going to bring Conor back, I'm going to bring Conor back against somebody that is going to stand and bang with him. I'm not going to bring anybody that's going to try to fucking take him down or any of that stuff. So I would actually look towards someone like a Daniel Rodriguez or somebody like that to fight with Conor, because I figure Conor's going to be 170. He's not going to be a 155er.
Well, Chandler said he'll fight him at 70.
Okay, that's fine, but I'll still say that I think that Daniel Rodriguez would be a more entertaining fight than the fight with Michael Chandler. But someone in that range. I love the Islam versus Taporia fight. Obviously, that would be fantastic. And I would say that Pantoja would be great, but just based upon his energy and everything, I would bring out, if he's still the champion, I'd bring out Merab Dvalishvili, and I'd probably put him against someone like could be Mario Batista, but we'll see what happens with Corey Sandhagen. I don't know if he's going to get past Corey. If he does, it would be him against somebody like a Mario Batista, or maybe Umar again. That would be good.
All right. I mean, I get what you're talking about with the John Jones and Aspinall thing.
Yeah.
Over Caleb, but the problem is though, John's not the champion. Aspinall is.
Yeah.
That's one. Two is, I mean, Dana's made it very clear he's afraid that if I put him as the main event, it could fuck everything up. So I'll put you in the middle of the card. If we lose you, I'll bring in Merab then.
But it's hard to put your heavyweight championship fight and not make it the main event.
Yeah, I get it, but I got a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and she's fighting the greatest female fighter of all time.
Yeah, I understand. I like it.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal. So, and you got to give the women their due. You got to give the women their due, man. This is a big deal. So, anyways, I know, and this is a fairy tale world. But I'm going to give Pantoja the love against Horiguchi, only because Pantoja,
I like that. That's a good one.
Fucking respect. None.
That's a good one.
It's no respect. Dave, go ahead. Talk to us about these videos you want to show us.
Yep.
And we'll wrap up on these. These are some fun. I think these are the fun ones, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this first one was just, I just want to get your reaction. It's just funny. So the meme is me and the boys watching Tracy Cortez weigh in.
You could put Josh right next to all those guys.
Yeah, I'll be right there. Look at you got. Yep.
Connor.
She seems like a real sweet person. I met her at one of the Brendan Schaub fight companions when Brian Ortega was with her and he brought her. She seems like a really sweet person. So, but it's fun. Right. Let me see this one.
Yeah, this one.
I wanted to get your opinion on this. This is a little strange to me.
No, it's understandable.
I know Andre Ward, so I understand. But go ahead. Let's play it.
Celebration of boxing tonight, gentlemen, in more ways than one. You guys have devoted so much of your professional lives to this sport. You can look at me if you want to. It's okay. Final thoughts on everything that transpired, not just tonight, but the celebration.
Okay,
great. Go ahead.
Here's the problem with this whole thing. is guys that are color commentators are told all the time, hey, look at the camera, right? Because you're not supposed to look at the person that you're talking to. It's not like being on the desk. The desk, you can do that whole thing. You can look at the camera, you can look at the look back at the camera. But when you're down ringside, it's supposed to be, oh, here's the camera, you're supposed to be looking at it. But it's an old style of doing things. And I think, Anik is so used to doing things with Rogan and DC, and sometimes, interchange either Bisping or Dominic Cruz or somebody else with it, that he just gets into this natural talk with them, and they're looking at him. And so these guys are not disrespecting John Anik. Okay. They're doing what they think they're supposed to do, is looking at the camera while Anik is talking. And trust me, they're sitting there going, I wish I could look over at him right now. And then he says it, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll look over at you. It has nothing to do with disrespect. It's just that they were told, look at the camera. And it took Anik telling them, it's okay, you can look at me. Yeah. He's the professional.
So it's funny, when I first came into doing TV and doing stuff at the desk and doing stuff at the cage side, and we did, like, they call that like a working man shot, where you're standing there or you're sitting there right there, and you guys are just basically getting ready to start working, but they want you to do a quick shot to the TV. When you do this, one thing that always stuck with me is, think about all the people that are watching you at home. Think of them as the person that walks into a conversation as you're talking to a friend. They're that person, like, that you look at, and then you invite them into the conversation by talk to them for a split second, and then keep talking, and then bring them back in about 15 seconds later by looking at them again. You're not really directly talking to them. You're talking to the group. Yep. And every time you look at them and say something, that keeps them engaged in the conversation. So as an analyst, when we would do our stuff, I would look at the camera, I'd say 4 or 5 words or whatever, and I'd look back at you, or I'd look at, Amanda or Jen or whoever was at the desk with me, Chael, Uncle Chael, and I'd just go back to talking to them. And then you look back every couple, 10 seconds or 15 seconds. You don't want to do this. That's what you don't want to do, where you're looking back and forth all the time. But you want to think about that the people at home and the camera as a third person walking into a conversation late, and just trying to bring them in, engage them into it, talk to them a little bit, make it so that they feel welcomed into the conversation. If you're just constantly looking at the person as your play-by-play, or whoever else is at the desk with you, they feel left out. Bring them in by looking at them and engaging them, and then look back to whoever it is. That's the way that I was always taught it, and that's the way I felt like it worked for me. It worked, because if I did look at the camera too long, I would fuck up. Like,
because you're looking at a glass high.
Yeah, that killed me, man. Like, anytime I had to do stand-up stuff, I don't know how.
Dude, you used to crack me up, man.
God, back reporters, man. Backroom reporters, you guys are you guys, and you females too, like, especially the females and the males, you guys fucking kill it back there. I can't look at just the lens and feel like I'm having a conversation with someone. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. It's so hard to do that job. Megan O'Leary and Jen Brown, when she was doing Amanda, she does it football. Like, I don't understand how they are so good at that. I can't look at a camera and just feel like I feel dumb. I feel so dumb. Like, who am I talking to?
That's true.
Who am I talking to? Okay, what else you got for us, Dave?
All right, here's this meme here. It's just Trump reacting to the World Cup. I'm just gonna play it for you guys. Get your reaction.
This is great.
I could play on the soccer pitch. I may play. I mean, I see the money that these soccer players, we call it soccer, but I see the money that these soccer players are making. I may try to play. I'm a very good athlete. My son is a very good athlete, and he's a good soccer player. He's on the tall side for soccer. Yeah. 6'9". It's pretty tall, but that's pretty tall. It's on the tall side. It's on the tall side, but he's good. But no, I may put on shorts. I'm extremely good in shorts and join the play. No, it's going to be a lot of fun.
John,
dude, he's hysterical.
I think it's just fucking funny. And, I know people are going to go like, well, he's an idiot. He'll never, like, he's not an athlete. Guys, if you're taking him serious, you're fucking missing the point. Yeah. I know we didn't talk about it at all, but, pretty much since the Charlie Kirk thing, but I wanted to send best wishes, best prayers, everything like that to his family. Yes. There's a lot that can be said, and I don't care where you guys are at in this in this realm, and nowhere in this world is it okay to kill anybody.
Nope.
That's it. It doesn't matter. I don't care where you're at. It doesn't matter. You can't allow our political leaders, doesn't matter what side you're on. I'm not picking a side right now. Okay. It doesn't matter what our political leaders are telling us. Do not allow them to dictate your energy. Do not. And that's what's going on. So that, and then it's feeding into the media, and the media is just fucking making it worse. Please don't allow it to get to that level. It should never have gotten to this level. And I'm just going to be honest, it's our political leaders, all of them at the top, right or left side, all of them at the top that are instigating this battling, bickering bullshit at the top has gotten Americans feeling that they need to go out there and handle it themselves. And that's the problem. So, like I said, this is not a side thing. This is a human thing. Like, you got to be a better human. All of us do, and I know some of you guys maybe don't believe in God, your Allah, your Buddha, your God, whatever it is, but have that relationship with whoever that is, and also with your family, your kids, your wife, your husband, whatever it is. If you're listening to us, those are the most important things in the world, is your family. Don't worry about all the other bullshit. Like, it should never have come to this. That man lost his life in front of his wife and kids. And in no way will I ever justify that, ever. Doesn't matter what fucking side of the fence you're on. So that was a serious take for me. I wanted to try and finish it on a high note with this thing, but I just
So much for that.
Yeah, it had to be said, John. It had to be said.
It
So
did.
Dave's in the background going.
No,
but look, to be fair, John, it's when we remain silent in these type of situations, that's when they think it's okay to continue to do what they're doing. You have to speak up, otherwise his life was lost for no reason.
There is no time that a person in the position of, like, Charlie Kirk was a speaker. Let's be honest. That's what he did. He talked. Now, you may like what he says, you may hate what he says, but in no way, shape, or form is it ever okay to do physical harm to someone for the words that they're saying. Okay. You may not agree with him. Then debate him. Tell him where he's wrong. But you took away 2 children's father. You took away a husband, and that's never okay. It's wrong. It's murder. And I mean, he was executed in front of his family. That's a horrible thing. So that's all.
It was the next morning I woke up and I thought to myself, like, his kids just woke up without their father.
Yeah.
They'll never see him again. His wife just woke up a single mother, and moving forward. So I don't want anyone to have to go through that.
Nope.
Nobody. Dave's got kids. I've got kids. John, you have kids. You have grandkids. I mean, you fucking probably have great grandkids here soon. So, you know what I mean? But just wanted to
better not.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into it. I just wanted to make sure that something was said, because when we're silent about things like this, that's when people think it's okay to continue. If we don't say something and speak up on it, that's when people think they can continue to do this. It's never okay. Dave, did you have something to say?
No.
Dave,
go.
keep going.
No comment.
No,
yeah, we're good to wrap.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. But hey, make sure you guys go to wewantpicks.com/offer. Also use that promo code and still they'll give you that 10% off. You can take the 10% off, or you can go ahead and buy and purchase. It's $10 a month. You can do $100 for $100 for the year, or $300 for a
lifetime.
So check it out. Give it a try. See if it works. Try that first month for $10. See if it works. If you like it, all the options that they have available for you, check it out. I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to listen, and thank you guys for the tips tonight. You guys crushed it tonight. Great job. John, take us away, bud.
For everyone out there, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time, and we will see you.